You're listening to the Packernet Podcast Network.
US Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident panelist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_daddy. Well, we've got training camp day 7 going on today. We've got a little bit of Packers news. We got a little bit of press conference, or, Matt LaFleur talking to the media before the players take the field. First of all, though, via Tom Pelissero, the Packers are signing former Troy cornerback Don Callis, per source. Matt LaFleur was asked about it, essentially saying, we just needed more bodies. So we needed more bodies, 1 or 2 more bodies. So I don't really feel the need to dig into him. I was like, maybe we'll just go old school, pull up the PFF, we'll look at their college, this and that. And when the head coach flat out comes out and says we need more bodies, let's wait until he goes out there and makes some plays before we actually start digging. All right? How about that? First bit of real good news, Marshawn Lloyd is back today just for individual drills. He's not going to be doing team stuff, but I'm very, very happy to hear that because I've said it before. I think a lot of times when rookies, it doesn't matter if they're even kind of early rookies, early round rookies, when you're in a situation where you're not the starter and you don't get snaps, you're just not really going to play. And of course that can change if you really impress and if we really need help or whatever. But I think he was headed toward kind of redshirting the year. And by that, I mean, he would take some snaps, but you just don't build game plans around guys that haven't really had a lot of one-on-one time with the coaches and everything else. So I do think he's back in pretty good amount of time to at least make an impact and show the coaches like, oh no, this guy needs to play. So very happy to hear that. Not sure how long it's going to take for him to get back into team stuff. I mean, Zach Tom has been on the field for individual stuff for a long time. Still, we haven't really seen him padded up and hitting people, so we'll see. We'll see about that. In addition, another guy, Keton Oladapo, will be on the field. Again, just indies, but same exact situation as Marshawn Lloyd. Dude needs to be out there. I mean, the safeties especially. I mean, Bullard and especially Williams are out there making tons and tons of plays. Dude's got to get out there and show something. Matt LaFleur says that Stokes has looked like the guy we thought he could be. Again, it's way too early to be making those assessments, even for head coaches, but I'm glad to hear it. Not that Matt LaFleur knows what Stokes is going to become, but I'm glad to hear that whatever it is they were looking for out of him, they're seeing it. Carrington Valentine, he says, continues to make plays. I'm personally very happy with Carrington Valentine. I think best case scenario is Stokes is a stud and we have Valentine as a legit corner backup. Like Rasheed Walker, if we had a first round player taking his job, it's like, dog, we got a backup that could start for a lot of teams and improve their left tackle position. So, yeah, I mean, I think Valentine is better than some guys that are going to get trotted out as starters on other teams. So very happy with everything. Everything DB especially. Defensive line DB has been incredible. Some solid notes about linebackers as well, but man, the DBs are out of control. He mentioned that Daniel Whelan has been outstanding, he says. He's the only player without any competition on the roster, so they're obviously very happy with him. It's the first time I've heard that, by the way. I haven't heard a ton about him, and I heard one tweet about he, had a booming punt and then one that was not so great. But to hear the head coach say outstanding, I think I'm good with that. Jets highlight: Rodgers to Lazard in 7-on-7 deep down the sideline, wins a 50-50 catch over Reed again. Lazard continues to be wide receiver 1 out there for them. It's crazy. Peter Bowden is back. He was let go recently, and then they brought him back at long snapper. So I'm trying to remember the context behind that, because I almost remember mentioning that they could bring him back for some reason. I don't remember exactly what the context for letting him go was. But anyways, he's back. I don't necessarily know the situation other than competition is a good thing. It seems like the operation, as I've been saying, has been great. But who knows? Maybe it hasn't been, and they're going to give him another shot. I don't know. Who knows? We need bodies, and where can we use some competition? Oh, I know, long snapper. Article from, who is this, Huber? Yeah, Huber, kind of detailing all of the moves, or several moves that were done in the previous day. Green Bay Packers have added some defensive back depth by signing cornerback Don Callis and L.J. Davis before Tuesday's training camp practice. Plus, according to a source, they re-signed long snapper Peter Bowden. I'm guessing that was Big B as the source, because he was putting it on Twitter. To make room for Callis, Davis, and Bowden, the Packers released kicker James Turner. That was, as I said, that was right around the corner. Defensive back Zion Gilbert and fullback Henry Pearson. That one's a little bit surprising. Not necessarily in terms of what we've seen or heard, but I know there's at least been a lot of speculation among fans that Henry Pearson could probably have a pretty sweet role, but I think the Packers really like their tight ends and their running backs, and it just kind of squeezed out Henry Pearson, who hasn't really been able to make a name for himself in any real capacity. Herman says, same usual starters and walkthroughs. Evan Williams at safety, McDuffie at nickel linebacker, Jordan Morgan at right guard. I don't know if Evan Williams at safety is necessarily usual. We've seen AJJ there a few times and Bullard there, but if that is becoming the usual, that's definitely noteworthy if that does kind of become a more common thing. And then we got Telfort once again out there with the ones at right tackle. Tom's still not doing team stuff, so Telfort's kind of got it locked down right now. I think when things calm down, I want to circle back around and take a look at Telfort just to kind of refamiliarize ourselves with it, because unless there's some kind of a massive change, I think he just won himself the backup tackle job. You got Zach Tom, you got Rasheed Walker seem to have locked down the starting jobs, with Morgan getting locked in at guard. I don't know that there's really any competition at tackle, and so it kind of becomes a question of who the backup tackle is going to be, and Telfort is just, things change, but he's got it pretty well locked down right now. Today's delegate to hype up the fans, the one and only Jordan Morgan. It's actually funny. Big B posted on Twitter. He said, every time I see Xavier McKinney, I'm like, he's actually a Green Bay Packer, just unreal. And I thought about it. Maybe I've mentioned it, maybe I haven't, but we are not excited enough about this. When was the last time we had a safety as good as McKinney on this team? Because I'm trying to remember if there's an answer other than Charles Woodson. We could maybe hype up Adrian Amos, because he had some really solid years here, where he was top 10, I think even top 5 once or twice. So you could maybe go that route. But it's absolutely incredible to have a guy as young as he is. We brought in Adrian Amos, I think, when he was 26. He gave us several solid years. But this is a young football player that has the potential to be that like top safety in the league for many, many, many years. It's really an incredible thing. And we'll have to see. We'll see how it goes with Green Bay. Maybe, sometimes I remember when Seattle went out and got the safety from the Jets, and that guy was the same thing. He was just elite. He was the top dude, and Seattle gave him all the money, brought him out there. He sucked. He was trash. I don't remember his name, but those things happen. But just based on what he has been, this guy is seriously legit. He is really, really talented. I keep saying this, but it is so cool. It's been a while since we've seen the Packers like catching tennis balls and all kinds of nonsense. Every time I watch these guys do drills, it just makes so much sense. You're drilling for what you're asking. So they added a layer to the linebackers now. So I mentioned before, it's shed the block, right? Get up in the guy's chest, shed him, and then go make the tackle. Now, you got McDuffie. He's shedding the block. Somebody throws these heavy pads at his knees. Why? Simulating a cut block, right? So you have to get your hands on him, push him to the ground, and get around him, and then go wrap up and make a tackle. It's fantastic. First of all, where do we get all this crap? I've never seen these pads before. We got a whole bunch of new stuff that I've never seen before. But again, everything just makes sense. It's not just random stupid crap. It's not, hey, I'm going to roll a donut. You go chase it and try to tackle it, as though that has anything to do with what a human being looks like. They don't have giant holes that you can stick your arm through and grab them and drive them into the ground. Like, what a stupid garbage drill that was. This is simulating actual things that are going to happen. It's like, I don't know. That was so stupid. Some more Jets updates. It's been kind of a disaster for the offense over there. A lot of miscommunications, a lot of bad snaps. This final, well, not final, but kind of a summary update. Jets offense had a brutal move the ball period. Aaron Rodgers went 2 of 7. 2 completions were nice passes to Lazard and Garrett Wilson. The rest were either inaccurate, dropped, or batted down. So, we saw last year with the with all the cameras and whatnot in there, the frustration began to build. I don't think it's happened yet, but at some point, Rodgers is going to get pissed. The offensive line can't block. Guys are running wrong routes. The snaps are bad. He's playing bad, which super pisses him off. Really great move seeing Bo Melton shake Valentine off the line of scrimmage on a slant during one-on-ones. Really nice move. Romeo Doubs just went full-on airborne with Jair Alexander in coverage to haul in a touchdown from Jordan Love. String of updates here from Andy Herman. Hell of a battle between Doubs and Jair. Doubs eventually wins in one-on-ones. Nixon pass breakup versus Reed. Would have been a hold by Stokes on hold by Stokes on Watson. Musgrave touchdown beat McKinney easy. Turay Knights out versus Ballantyne complete. Bullard holds Musgrave. Musgrave with a catch easy. Musgrave is just a freak, dude. I'm telling you. I think if there's anybody, if you had me pick anybody that I think is going to break out, and I've talked about it before, that just is not talked about enough. I know I just said McKinney, but that's a different category. He's already good. Freaking Musgrave, dude. Romeo touchdown at the jump ball versus Jair. Melton smokes Valentine for a touchdown. McKinney pass breakup versus Musgrave. There you go, goes the other way. DeBose beats Green on a slant. Hicks just beat Don Callis easy. Poor guy. Starkey beats Bullard. Heath touchdown versus Davis on a back shoulder. Dobbs nice route, but out of bounds versus Jair. McKinney good coverage on Musgrave. Nixon good coverage on Reed. Watson mosses Stokes in the end zone. That's fantastic. I hope somebody got some kind of videos out there. Romeo Doubs has been the most impressive in one-on-ones today. Went up against Jair 3 times and had Jair asking for another rep. He didn't get it. Tyler Davis playing H-back in first snaps of 2s. We got a Bears update. It's been another rough day for the offense today. Still about 20 minutes remaining, but team periods have been dominated by the defense. You sure hate to hear that, don't you? Not sure if there was a fumble on the exchange between Sean Clifford and A.J. Dillon, or Dillon just lost the football, but it landed on the ground and scooped up by the Packers defense. Fantastic run by Emmanuel Wilson and a nice juke in the open field on AJJ. He's had the best runs of camp so far, go figure. Second team offensive line is Dillard, Newman, Monk at center. Newman and Tenuta? That doesn't make sense. Do we have 2 Newmans on the team? Jaquan Brisker picks off Caleb Williams in team period. Defense has been all over first team offense again today. And you could say, well, the defense is beating the Packers offense too. Bro, the defense has been beating Clifford. I mean, it's been pretty close to 50-50 with Jordan, and it's not really Jordan out there playing like crap, all right? Caleb Williams getting picked off by his own defense is a different situation, all right? So I'm going to laugh about it because it's funny. By the way, Hard Knocks is coming out in a week, so if things continue this way, this is going to be glorious. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sure they're going to make the Bears look out to be superheroes and everything else. It's going to be just beautiful. But I'll tell you what, I'm down for watching Caleb throw a bunch of picks. Fantastic block by Tyler Davis to give Clifford time to find an open Bo Melton down the field, but Clifford missed him. Clifford, do a single thing right. One thing. All right, I'll tell you what, why don't we take our first break here? We'll be right back. U.S. Cellular has noticed the way we use our phones has gotten ironic. We try to put our phones down for dinner, but the menu's on a QR code. That's ironic. We hit like on social posts that we don't actually like, which is ironic. Which is why US Cellular created Us Mode, to help us reconnect with each other and use our phones less ironically. A phone company wanting people to use their phones less is ironic. Let's find us again with Us Mode from US Cellular. Visit uscellular.com/built-for-us to get started. Welcome back. Williams gets first safety snap with McKinney today. Jacobs starts team with a big gain up the middle off counter action. We got the ones lined up as Love, Jacobs, Davis and Musgrave are our tight ends. Dobbs and Reed are the wide receivers. Walker, Elton, Myers, Morgan, and Telford is the offensive line. It's kind of starting to settle into being what it's going to be. It's just substitute Zach Tom for Telford. It seems like that's going to be our starting offensive line. So it's good to have 4 out of 5 today. And go figure, as soon as we finally get, basically our entire interior offensive line is set, we start seeing running backs, Emmanuel Wilson and who else was it? Somebody else had a nice big run up the middle. Defense is Gary, Wooden, Clark, and Smith. Wooden getting a shot next to Clark today. McDuffie, Quay, and Wilson are the linebackers, so still kind of keeping McDuffie and Wilson up top. Stokes and Jair are the corners, and Williams and McKinney are the safeties. Josh Jacobs' first play, due team had by far his best run of camp, showed off that second gear. Not sure if that's the same play we've been talking about, but either way, the run's working. Morgan over Ryan at right guard. So that's kind of the other thing is Sean Ryan has been out there consistently, but we haven't really had everybody back at once. It's either an Elton Jenkins rest day or Josh Myers on a personal day or, whatever. Now that everybody's back, Morgan's taking snaps over Sean Ryan, and I'm expecting that to be the way that it goes. Although, again, I'm rooting for Ryan. Best of luck. Hopefully he ends up dominating and winning a job somewhere. But again, I think this is what it's going to be. Love fakes a toss, turns to boot, and finds a disciplined Preston Smith right in his face. Great job not biting on the cheese from the vet. Going back to the Jets real quick, Robert Saleh says he has nothing to report on Hassan Reddick, so that's still a pretty contentious holdout. I mean, you just listen to the press conferences, it's basically like, I don't want to talk about that freaking guy. And Hassan Reddick is just completely away from the team. He's not there in meetings, nothing. He's at home eating Cheetos. Couple other updates here. Again, some of these are repeated, but different guys reporting stuff. Josh Jacobs, nice cutback up the gut for a chunk. Love's play action pass rolling left a little high for Davis, incomplete, but Evan Williams nearly picked off the deflection. Bullard all over a check down to Dillon. Love hits Dobbs for about 20. Got Herman talking about that, I believe, near pick play. Says Evan Williams made such an impressive play on a bootleg, started going one way, quickly realized it was going to be a bootleg, and got over to Tyler Davis in an instant. Davis dropped the pass. And that's the kind of stuff, athleticism and all that is great, but that's the kind of stuff coaches are going to want to see from a guy. And there's been a lot of impressive reports about defenders just being really intelligent. We just heard Preston not biting on a fake and getting in there for a sack. And now you got Williams maybe taking a half step one direction and then, not only just recognizing it, but it's one thing to say, oh, shoot, I think it's going to be a fake and just go, I don't know what to do. And another thing to beeline for Tyler Davis because you understand what exactly this play is going to be and getting there in time. Dobbs is doing Romeo things, gains a step on Valentine on a deep crosser, and Love puts it on the money. Nagler says, Packers' protections are so well thought out. Gary thought he had the edge until a sliding tight end is there by design to pick him up. Love hits Dobbs downfield for a big gain. That's probably that 20-yarder we've heard before, but again, just kind of from a different perspective. Aaron Mosby just walked Wilson about 7 yards into the backfield. Not an advantageous matchup for a running back. Hopper all over a Wilson run. Don't hear a ton about Hopper, but when you do, it's usually him shutting down a run either at or behind the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Ford is having his best camp, getting into the backfield, stacking players in the run game. He's taken a step, and that is a good point. I've heard, we've had Ford for a couple years and have heard basically nothing from him. This is the first time in camp I've heard him several times come up. This is probably the third time, which doesn't seem like much, but he's a down the line kind of guy. He's third string, so it's good to start hearing from him a little bit. Report from Robert Saleh saying Rodgers probably will not participate in the preseason at all because he's recovering from his Achilles. Not super surprising, I suppose. Carlson and Joseph both go 3 for 3. Both are now 19 of 21 in camp. That is, you talk about competition bringing out the best in people. That's crazy. The kicks were from 33, 38, and 48, so a little bit shorter. They'll probably do another 3, start getting into the 50s on that one. But very, very, very happy with what Karlsson has been doing. I mentioned Karlsson only just because he is the presumed... I mean, he's there with the veteran, getting better as a result of the veteran, but he's going to win that job, and I'm pretty happy about it. Love finds Reed for a 16-yard touchdown in red zone on 3rd and 6, but Gary probably would have had a sack. Of course he would. Let's see. So red zone, couple of short runs by Jacobs, and then you get that touchdown. Carl Brooks just completely reset the line of scrimmage versus Jordan Morgan on a Jacobs run. McDuffie all over an inside run by Jacobs. Brooks beat Morgan again for a quick pressure, but Love escapes to find Jaden Reed open in the end zone for a touchdown. Cooper stuffs a Dillon run. So we're back to the run game doing nothing. Morgan struggling against the young guys, Brooks, but passing game still in full swing. We got to get the run working because as much as I want to give the credit to the defense, and I do think it's going to be improved, it's very obvious that this is not good enough. They got off to a good start, but now it's just, Tyron Hopper shuts it down. Brooks shuts it down. McDuffie shuts it down. Brooks again wins. It's like, come on, man. Come on. We can't be doing this. Cooper stuffs a Dillon run. Ryan Wood reported the touchdown as Jordan Love steps up in the pocket to avoid rush, flushes right, uses extra time to find Jaden Reed wide open in the end zone for a 12-yard touchdown. Looked like Reed came from play's backside, but Love still found him. Stunning how much better 10 is than even this point last year. And again, that's entirely true. Remember, this point last year, Jordan Love was meh, right? There was a ton of flashes. There was a ton of like, oh man, that's impressive. But almost every single day, it was, really bad to start off camp. And then by the second half, he got better. This has been Jordan Love is that dude all through camp. Not saying he wins every single time. There was a pick 6. There's been some issues. But, he is just consistently a very good quarterback. Kyle Malzahn reported it as, oh my goodness, pocket collapsed on Jordan Love during the red zone drill. Love used his feet to scramble a bit before throwing an absolute dot across his body to Jaden Reed in the end zone for a touchdown. Got Mr. Caden Sullivan saying it's a really hot day, and it is a hot day today here in Wisconsin. But offense and defense is still getting after it, so the energy stays high, which is good. Hopefully it's just doesn't cause any heat issues, but otherwise happy to hear it. Greg Joseph is 6 of 6 on field goals. Anders Carlson 5 of 6. So Carlson obviously missed one. That puts Joseph ahead in the overall competition. Not that I care even slightly. I care that he missed it, but I'm just going to keep saying it. The dude's not going to lose the competition. But Joseph 22 of 24. Carlson 21 of 24. Really, really solid for both. Let's see. Joseph goes 3 for 3 from 41 left, 42 right, 54 left. Carlson missed wide right from the 41 before making the other two, so he missed the easiest one, and then hit 42 and then 54. So pretty standard. I don't know if Carlson's missed a 50-yarder yet, so maybe he did miss one. Clifford threads the needle to hit DeBose in the back of the end zone from the 9-yard line, so finally getting some positive Clifford notes. Hopefully there's a little bit of a turnaround here. Tight window throw, back of the end zone, touchdown. It's about as good of a note as you're going to get. Van Ness gets a sack on Clifford, but Telford did a nice job on him in pass pro. Clifford ran into it. Jeez, man. I'm trying here, Cliff. I'm trying. Yikes. Van Ness was unblocked to the quarterback, which is usually a problem. Clifford gets the ball out quickly, throw to Melton on an out for a touchdown with Bullard in coverage. So he ran into a sack, then he throws the DeBose touchdown, then he throws the Melton touchdown. So I'm going to call that a big win, all right? We're just going to call that a win. We're going to disregard the first comment. Ryan Wood says, for all the struggles in camp, Sean Clifford has an awfully strong arm, just threaded a bullet to DeBose in the end zone from the 8-yard line. Corey Ballantyne slipped to allow a small opening where Clifford split the coverage, and that was never a doubt on him. He's got a super strong arm. Big B says, Clifford finally making some throws. Love to see it. Devontae Wyatt gets a sack on Clifford, who won in about a millisecond. Dobbs is so nasty in the red zone. Stokes had great coverage. Love put it where only Dobbs can bring it in. 87 gets feet down on the touchdown on 3rd and goal from the 4. He really is kind of that dude. Reminds me a little bit of, a lot of guys did it, that red zone drill, but Randall Cobb was really good at that. Just finding that little spot List of updates from Andy Herman. He says, number 1, defense stays strong on first 2 red zone plays. Check down to Musgrave for nothing and incomplete after Love bought time. Love throws McKinney a gift interception in the back of the end zone, but 29 can't hang on. That is the worst possible update you can get. Threw a pick, but the pick was dropped. Love gets the defense to declare, recognizes Dobbs with one-on-one versus Stokes, hits him in stride for a touchdown. Sprint right in the red zone never works, and predictably it didn't work. Defense all over it. Hicks gains separation with a double move, and Pratt delivers a nice pass, but Hicks can't bring it down in the back of the end zone. Jeez. Well, Pratt is still being Pratt, so you got to love that. Caleb Jones with a great rep versus Lucas Van Ness to give Pratt time, who fires back of the end zone, slightly behind, but in a great spot for Hicks. Hicks couldn't bring it down. False start, Emmanuel Wilson. Lucas Van Ness looped inside of Jones and Jennings for a quick pressure on Pratt. Hearing a lot of Lucas Van Ness, not all positive, but it's been one after the other. Eason throws right to Sapp, but Sapp can't hold on either. Lucas Van Ness won again on the play. Eason swings to Emmanuel Wilson for a play at the goal line with no tackling. It's a touchdown. Jonathan Ford wins inside for a potential stop on Wilson. Another Jonathan Ford note. McKinney has been a menace in the red zone. He's been around nearly every ball, says Wes Hodkowitz. See the 3 safety look with Bullard and Williams on the field with McKinney during end-of-game red zone work. Man, that gets me a little bit excited. Luke Musgrave having a hard time hanging on to the ball today. Dropped what would have been 2 touchdowns. Oh, don't talk to me about that. Just don't start. I can't handle that. All right, I've already made up my mind he's going to be fantastic. I can't hear frickin' drop problems. All right, we got enough drop problems with this frickin' team, man. Everybody we draft has drop problems. Anyways, down 7, 22 seconds left. Ball on the opposing 18-ish. No timeouts. Number 1 offense up, 1st and 10. Keyshawn Nixon pass break up on 1st down. 3 safety look for the defenders with Williams and Bullard both on the field with McKinney in dime. Love rolls right to find Musgrave for a wide-open touchdown. A great route by 88, but he clean drops it. Next play, Love throws to Watson at the goal line, and it's picked by Stokes. Ay. Hey, good for Stokes, though. Defense remains dominant. And then we get defense wins the day, offense does push-ups. I think if that wasn't already clear, Stokes just absolutely sealed that one. And by the way, Christian's been beating up on Stokes quite a bit all through camp, so it's actually kind of good to hear Stokes get not only get a win, but get the win. You know, it's a pick to end training camp, at least today's practice. Matt Schneidman says, practice ends with Eric Stokes picking off Jordan Love on the goal line with 6 seconds left. Offense trailing by 7, ball on the 18. Looked like Christian Watson was supposed to cut in, but he never looked back for the ball, while Stokes did. More push-ups for the offense. Again, defense keeping their eyes on the quarterback. Bears head coach says that Tyson Bagent will start at quarterback. The starters will not play in the Hall of Fame game, which is coming up. According to John Del Rey, he says offense definitely won the day, but wound up doing push-ups due to the last play picked by Stokes. Still a really productive day for the offense. It does kind of suck we're not going to see Caleb a little bit, you know? That football fan side of me is like, dude, I want to watch Caleb play a little bit, you know? See what he's got. See if we can get some picks off this guy. No, we're not going to let that happen. Fine. We'll watch Tyson frickin' Bagent, okay? And yeah, I saw Boss had a video up, of the interception, and you can see what they're talking about. I mean, it almost seemed like Christian wasn't really anticipating the ball. He kind of ran a route and was just kind of really slowing down and kind of lazily comes out of it. And, I mean, Jordan had that ball right there. He was expecting, like, boom, quick break and get your head around and catch that ball. So, I mean, the anticipation was phenomenal, but Christian was not expecting it. I think he was, he's going to kind of put on the shimmy shake with Stokes and juke him out and then make a big cut and then maybe get open. And what he didn't realize is the ball was 90% of the way there. Stokes did not give a crap about you anymore and was going to get the ball. Is essentially how that played out. Anyways, that's it for practice. Why don't we go ahead and take our final break, and then we'll do a little work trying to get caught up on some of these calls. How about that? We'll take a break. We'll be right back. All right, before we get to the calls real quick, got a little bit of breaking news here. DJ Moore and the Bears reach an agreement on a 4-year, $110 million extension that includes $82.6 million guaranteed. The deal was negotiated by Drew Rosenhaus, Jason Rosenhaus, and Robert Bailey. Moore now has had the first 10 years of his career guaranteed, a first in NFL history for a wide receiver. That is pretty crazy. $27 million. I don't think that's. Look, I'm not going to just be a biased Packer fan and say trash, garbage, stupid. DJ Moore proved his salt last year. He came in, was a top 10 wide receiver via PFF. You obviously got him in a trade. It's a big deal to be able to acquire the guy. Last thing you want to do is let him go. So, I mean, he is, I don't want to say a cornerstone, but he's an important piece of a team that needs a lot of pieces. And so when you got one, I think you got to lock it down. Bears miss a lot more than they hit, but that doesn't mean they don't hit. DJ Moore was a hit. He's a good player. We'll see how long he's a good player. Career arcs are weird. Do I expect a regression? Kind of, because he played better last year than he ever has in his career. And there's really nothing the same. You don't have the same quarterback. You don't have the same offensive coordinator, the same offensive system. Everything's different. So I would expect to see more of the old DJ Moore, which is more top 32 as opposed to top 10, top 5. But we'll see. Either way, I don't really hate it. Again, 27. It's hard to wrap your head around it because without doing the math, we cracked 30. 2 years ago, 3 years ago for wide receivers? It's been a while that 30 was kind of the big benchmark. So for him to come in $27 million with only 82.6 of that guaranteed. I mean, I don't mean to say only. That's a pretty significant portion, but it's less than 27 guaranteed, and I don't know the structure of it. Maybe some of that is funny money he's never going to get. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's. As a Packer fan, am I happy they have DJ Moore? Absolutely not. It sucks that they have DJ Moore, but it is what it is, and, we move on. We march on. With that said, why don't we go ahead and get to some calls?
Hi, Ryan. It's Randy from Minnesota.
What's going on, man?
Oh, almost done with dead time. By the time you air this, I'm sure we will be in the camp.
We will be. We are.
But, oh, my gosh, it's so nice to get this over with. And I got to tell you, dude, you are just killing it with the songs at the end.
Thank you.
Of your
glad somebody still appreciates it.
The last one I just heard, Echoes or Chaos or whatever the name of the song was. Man, that was something else. We got to get this somehow to download all these because they're good. I really appreciate it.
I'll figure a way out. You know what? I wonder, not to be a D-bag about it, I bet I can upload these to Patreon. By the way, speaking of Patreon, holy cow, in the last 20 hours, Jason upgraded his membership from Brett Good to Robert Brooks. Ed Retzloff joined as a free member, but welcome. And Ed Retzloff became a member of Bubba Franks. So appreciate you guys. We're heading in the right direction. I'm glad to have you all back. Like I said, I was real excited. We're going to have 300 patrons, and then it's been plummeting ever since. So, but I understand hard times, and I appreciate everybody, and I'm glad to have you guys on board.
And my last thing I was reading was that Jerry Jones, of course, wants to do away with revenue sharing, basically, because of the Sunday ticket. He wants to be able to sell the Cowboy rights to whoever wants to watch the Cowboys. And he taking all that money. Owners, what a bunch of clowns. Fortunately, I'm sure the rest of the NFL will say, no, you can't do that. I would love just to feel like everyone else. I just want to watch the Packers. But got to take good with the bad, and the most important thing is to keep the revenue going so the entire league is going strong. If they ever went to that, I think you might find it surprising that there's teams like Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Green Bay are the teams that are leading in the revenue from people purchasing just those games. I'm more inclined, like you, that if it's good for one team, it should be good for all teams. And I just figures it was Jerry Jones. What a clown. Anyway, once again, love the music. Keep it going. You got to get some way to get this stuff downloaded so we can access it when we want it. And go Pack Go. Season's starting, baby. Bye.
Got myself muted. I did a little test upload on Patreon. We'll see. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to download it. We'll see. We'll find a way. I'll be able to put them somewhere. The hardest part is going to be able to find the older ones, which might be kind of an issue. I've started saving some of the newer ones, publishing them, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll figure it out. It is what it is. Yeah, and then the Jerry Jones thing. I haven't heard anything about that. I'll check. I don't know if I'll check it out or not. I should check it out, but at the same time, like you said, I think the NFL, the rest of the league is just going to say, no, dude, that's not how that works. So,
Ryan, how the heck are you? This is Nico.
Can I tell you real quick how good I am? So I just bought, if you didn't see it, a brand new smoker. It's a drum smoker. Finally, been wanting one for a while. Spent many days, many hours trying to decide which one to buy, trying to find deals, etc., etc. Settled on the Oklahoma Joe Bronco Pro, which is the 22-inch. And it took me forever to build it. 100 degrees outside today. I'm outside. I thought I was going to pass out, dude. My shirt was all sweated up. I never get like that. When people get their shirts all sweaty, it's like I was dripping, bro. Finally got it all put together. Body is just exhausted. Did the burn in. Took forever. You know, you got to get that temperature cranked up and then let it burn off all the oils and all that stuff. But then, sweet baby Ray's. I'm not actually using that, but we got pork belly, and I got it all cubed up, and she's put on there, and that temperature's holding strong. Everything's great. The smells. Oh, I reek of applewood smoke right now. So yeah, I am exhausted, but in the best possible way. I am so very happy. So I know it's not really a question that needs answering when you say how you doing, but I'm just telling you I'm in a good mood. By the way, pro tip. We decided on this. If you're on the market, or if you're just thinking about it, Fleet Farm, if you have one by you, these bad boys are on clearance. $700+ grill. They are selling them for, I think it's $400. Use the little Honey app on your thing. There's like a $50 off coupon that you can add. We got these things for $350, half off, after tax, ready to rock and roll. $350 for a $700+ smoker. Just saying, go get you one. All right, there you go. Get your money's worth on this show.
Just kind of adding to what 1255 said. I don't know.
Are we talking about
there is a name that can't be like announced emphatically because they scored a touchdown? I guess, except maybe your name. I did try it. I put out my announcer voice.
It's tough.
And I tried the touchdown, Ryan Schlepp.
Yeah, it sucks.
It doesn't really flow.
No.
So, Ryan, if you become
I'm not even kidding. I was actually really sad about that when I was a kid. Like, you know, you hear all the announcers like, Michael Jordan. He comes out, yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to be a football player one day, and you're going to hear my name. It's going to be Ryan Schlepp. I'm like, oh, that sucks, actually.
Professional football player, you'll have to come up with a nickname or something.
Yeah.
You know, my last name is like 3 syllables. It kind of works. But I think the conversation should be kind of just about name only. Like,
it's hilarious, by the way. Dude, Nico, I think every name you can do it. Not yours, but every other name. Pretty sure you can do it.
I've always wanted to do like a name draft.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. I wanted him on the team. Why? Because he's a good corner?
For sure.
Because his name's Kool-Aid.
Top 10.
Jaquiski Tart. Can we draft him? Can we trade for him? Why? Because his name is Jaquiski Tart. Okay?
No.
We had Atari Bigby. I mean, he's maybe my favorite Packer of all time because his name is freaking Atari Bigby.
Yeah.
But seriously, can we do a name draft? You know, the coolest names coming out. Even if you look at, like, Creed Humphreys. I know he's like the modern day, you know, J.J. Watt. But listen, he should have been drafted first merely on name recognition or name only. Creed Humphreys, that's just a cool name. You know, there's no nerd on the planet named Creed Humphreys. I mean, you got a Creed Humphreys, and you just imagine, oh, he's like 6'5", like 290. like size of a small mountain. You know, like if your daughter is in Doctors Without Borders and she gets abducted by Somalian drug lords, you know what you do? You hire a guy named Creed Humphreys to go rescue her. You know, so we should have drafted him just because his name is cooler. And I forget the other guy's name we drafted. It's like Dan, but you know, he just doesn't sound cool. So I'm all about the name. And also, like, I was kind of hoping we'd get Jonathan Mingo. Remember Jonathan Mingo? I think, didn't we get his like teammate or something? And he's kind of better than him. But who's to say Mingo wouldn't be better if he was on our team? You know, because we have an elite quarterback, an amazing coaching staff. But I mean, can you just imagine? You know, Love throws up a bomb and Jonathan Mingo.
Yeah,
that would just ring so awesome. You know, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. Kind of just like rambling now because I got like 10 seconds. But hey, anyways, go Pack Go. I can't wait for preseason or, you know, everybody get to practice stuff and then we hate it because it's not a game. I don't know. Anyways, go back up.
So I had the robot do me a draft. I think you could do better, but it's not bad. And I also think it's leaning a little bit Packers because it knows I'm a Packer fan. Yes, it's learning about me, which is creepy, but it's starting to know things. Ready? Here we go. First overall pick, HaHa Clinton Dix, followed by Barcavius Mingo. There's your Mingo. Prince Amukamura, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, Equanimous St. Brown, Osi Umenyiora, Laquan Treadwell, Captain Munnerlin, that's a great name, Denzel Mims, some of these I just disagree with, Yannick Ngakwe's, it's interesting, Taco Charlton, because obviously that should have been a much higher pick. Dude, his name is frickin' Taco. I want to meet his parents. To have the frickin' audacity, I'll say, as opposed to the word I wanted to say, to just be like, dude, I want to name him Taco. Like, what? Like, dude, tacos? They're so freaking good. You should name him Taco. Like, I mean, I get. And then his wife was down for that. Like, I could see a dude being like, "Hey, Taco," but usually the mom comes in and is like, "No, stupid, you don't name kids Taco. That's not how life works." I don't know. Then you got Juju Smith-Schuster is a good one. Ndamukong Suh, Golden Tate, Rock Ya-Sin, that's a great name. Greedy Williams, another good one. Takaris McKinley, Jabril Peppers, Vita Vea. Ooh, I don't know this one. Blitty Ray Wilson, interesting. Zadarius Smith, Rashawn Gary, Hercules Mataafa, solid. Neville Gallimore, don't know why that's there. Mecole Pruitt, Chidobe Awuzie is a great name. Dante Fowler, Malik Hooker, Cameron Jordan, Dak Prescott, Khalil Mack, Sage Surratt. To some of those. We could probably do better. I should ask the other robot, but that's for another day. This is great off-season content. I wish the season didn't just start. We could have just been rocking this kind of nonsense. This is good. This is high-quality off-season stuff right here. I really want to do it again. We should have, like, all the robots do a first-round pick, and then we vote on which robot did the best. That's not a bad thought, to be honest. All right, I tell you what, it's a little early, but we got 2 calls from Garrett. I don't feel up to 2 calls. I am freaking exhausted, and I got meat on the smoker right now, and I just want to go stare at smoke billowing out of that thing. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go stare at smoke for a while. You guys have a fantastic rest of your night. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.